Hi, everyone. Welcome to Courage to Change with Karen, episode number 32. Woot woot. If you've made it to 32 with me, I tell you, I'm shocked and amazed that I've been able to consistently do this. And I'm shocked and amazed that you've stuck with me. It's been great for me. I don't know about you, but I'm having a good time. And I'm really enjoying this new reading about detachment. We're reading Let Go Now, which embrace detachment as a path to freedom, which sounds a lot better, doesn't it, than just detach from someone because they're driving you crazy. Uh, let's choose detachment because it's a path to freedom. I like the way that sounds. Today I'm going to read page 20 out of Karen Casey's book, Let Go Now. Let's read it and talk about it. Detachment simplifies our life. Closely monitoring one life is really quite enough. Paying too close attention to someone else's life will only upset the balance of our own. We have the energy to live one life, not two or more. It's God's work to orchestrate the lives of others. Why are we so insistent on taking on more than we have been selected to do? Could it be that we're afraid others will leave us behind if we aren't wrapped up in their plans, their daily activities, their dreams for the future? Having a simpler life, one that concerns itself with only our activities, is really so refreshing. It's so energizing, so peaceful, until we remove our attention from the. Oh, wait, I don't know this word. Huh, I'm not sure what this word means. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm not even sure if I'm going to say it right. Machinations. Machinations. Let's look that up as soon as we're done. Until we remove our attention from the could be machinations of others, we can't even get a sense of what having more energy, extended periods of peace, and the joy that comes from detachment feels like. But once we have allowed ourselves to know this feeling, we will hunger for it more and more. In time, we will seek the freedom of detachment on a daily basis, and on a daily basis, we will live peacefully. Okay, let's look up this word together. Uh, let's see, can I do this at the same time? Let's see. Bear with me. We might as well do this together and learn something today. It's MACH in nations, almost like imagination. Machination is a plot or a scheme. Huh, wonder how you say it. Machinations. 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 How to pronounce it? Here we go. Macunation. Macunation. Okay? It's macunation. I'm sorry. So let's go back and read that sentence again and see if it makes more sense. I can't believe I don't know that word. I'm pretty smart. Um, let's see. Having a simpler life, one that concerns itself with only our activities, is really so refreshing, so energizing, so peaceful. Until we remove our attention from the machinations of others, we can't even get a sense of what having more energy, extended periods of peace, and joy that comes with detachment. Well, I love it. I love this part that says, once we've allowed ourselves to know this feeling, we'll hunger for it more and more. And in time, we'll seek that freedom of detachment on a daily basis. I'm there. I'm detached. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. Um, it's true. We are not given the energy to live more than one life. In fact, sometimes I don't even think I can do mine. What makes me think I can run everybody else's? And I used to. I used to. I don't know how I did that. I was involved in everything. I had my sticky little fingers stuck in everybody else's thing. I've said this before, but if I would be somewhere, let's just give church for, let's say I go to church, which I don't go to church, but let's say I go to church and they say, we're going to have a potluck and we need someone to organize it. My hand would shoot up. Do you know what I mean? I'm a volunteerer. I'll get it done gal. And then if I volunteer and one of the people that comes and to help me with the potluck is sad and upset, I'll sit down and talk to him for a couple hours. Let's solve this problem for you. You know what you need to do? Right? I was all over the place. And quite honestly, I mean, I just really sucked the life out of everyone. And I think people really resented it because I was always the one doing things. I was making the birthday cake or I was the one hosting Christmas. I probably pissed a lot of people off, because other people want to do something. And eh, it's a lot. I mean, it's not just a lot for me. It's a lot for everyone else. It's very disrespectful. And I learned that. I've said this before too. I learned that from my kid. My kid finally told me, when you constantly are in my business, it's like so disrespectful to me that you don't think I can do this by myself. Whoa. Whoa. No, that's not what I meant. I meant to show you how much I love you. And that's I don't know, that's just not right. You shouldn't have to kill yourself to show someone you love them. I think actions do speak louder than words, but once you start doing too much, you've set up an expectation that you cannot keep up, and people start to resent you. The whole thing has to slow down. The I love this. Today I read something. I'm a big follower of positive, successful, forward thinkers, right? I consume a lot of anything that is a show or a podcast or a reading or something. I'm going to put in my head, it's going to be good. It's going to be positive. And that's just the way I am. I've cut out the negative a long time ago. I got no room for that. So this morning I was reading something by Richard Branson. Richard Branson is the CEO of Virgin everything, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Cruise Lines, Virgin Airlines. He started off with Virgin Records. I don't know if you're as old as me, but he started off with Virgin Records and he started small. And he ended up being this amazing man. And I have an interesting story about him. When I lived in the Caribbean, we're going off the beaten track, everybody. So now's the time to go to the bathroom or get popcorn. When I was young, I lived in the Caribbean. And I was from Spokane, Washington, and I picked up and moved to the Caribbean. I think I've told you this before. I left a relationship, couldn't get out of it without leaving the country. And I moved to the Caribbean to live. And I was, by some weird coincidence, lining up of the stars, the universe, I got invited to go to Necker Island. And Necker Island is the private island where Richard Branson lives. And somebody had rented out his house. Now, at the time, people that were renting out this place, this whole island off of Tortuga, were renting it out, were like Oprah Winfrey. And, these big name people were renting this place out. And I got invited to this small, intimate party that there was some king from, I don't know where he was from, to be quite honest. And he was throwing his girlfriend a birthday party there. She was from Texas, from the United States. And there was like 8 of us, maybe 10 of us. And I got invited to this thing and I got flown over in a private jet, his private jet that was like unbelievable. 24 karat gold faucets in the bathroom. And I mean, just unbelievable story of a lifetime. and I got to go to Necker Island, and it was really one of the most amazing things. I've got some amazing stories, and this is one of them. It was absolutely unbelievable to be there and celebrate this girl's birthday who I didn't even know. I didn't know anybody there. I just kind of went along. I didn't know who Richard Branson was, and I was working in a restaurant, and these people had invited me to go that I had waited on in the afternoon at the beach. And anyway, I went into I was thinking about it. I had to make up my mind by the next day. And I went into the kitchen and I said, has anybody heard of Necker Island? And like everybody dropped what they were doing. Like everybody stopped and looked at me. Necker Island? Yeah, it's supposedly some guy's house named Richard Branson. And the chef was like, "Oh my God, you don't know who Richard Branson is? Necker Island. And I said, well, I got invited. Oh my God, go. And my roommate said, you're going to go with these people you don't even know, they could kill you. And the chef said, take a chance. You're going to die. You might as well die on Necker Island. So anyway, I got to go to Richard Branson's place, and I've been a huge fan of his, not just for that, but because of his business savvy. And he wrote an article, a short piece this morning, and I read it this morning. I don't know when he wrote it, but it was about, he said he's got a system called circles. And it's really what he lives his life by, circles. And he starts with his own circle. The circle's very small. It's around just him. And it's like, okay, am I healthy? Have I slept? Have I ate? Is my work balance, work-life balance evenly distributed? If everything's fine in that realm, he extends it out to his family, his children and his wife. And then he includes them in it. And then the circle gets bigger, and it includes his immediate people around him, his staff, his whatever. And then it keeps getting bigger around his companies, uh, until it's around the world. And he says eventually it's going to be around the universe. And, you know, I love that. I just thought that was such a healthy view. And it reminded me of my hula hoop analogy, a lot about my hula hoop analogy. And if you don't know that, we'll talk about that on another episode. But, this idea that we've got to take care of ourselves first. And, I thought everybody kind of understood that, but people don't understand that. I had someone the other day say, why can't you do that? I train people, so they expected me to do everything. And then when I quit doing it, it's like, why can't you do it? And I said, well, I just can't. And I don't have to explain. They said, well, what's your explanation? I said, I don't have to give you an explanation. I wasn't being mean. It's true. I said, I don't have to. People on the planet can say no and not have to give an explanation. If it's not good for them, they just say no. That should be just an accepted answer. No, they can't do it. If they could, they probably would, but they can't. And the person said, you are one of the most selfish people I've ever met. And I thought, well, they don't know me very well. I'm not selfish. And I help a lot of people, but I do get to choose now. I do choose. I don't just take things on because I need to feel loved. I need to feel included. I need to feel liked. I've decided to take care of myself first and let everyone take care of themselves. And I help as much as I can. I add to the stream of life. I am not saying that I am like held up in the woods by myself and I don't talk to people. That's not it. But it was an extreme, and I think it is extreme at first when I first did it. You go from being, think about a pendulum. You can't see my hand, but if you swing all the way up, up, up to the left, what happens? It comes down and it goes whoa, all the way up, up, up on the right. And somehow you got to let it settle in the middle. You got to let it settle down. But it swings hard the first time. The first time you say no, it's like overly done. The first time I said no, it was like, can anyone volunteer to do the potluck? Not me. I'm not doing it. Don't ask me. Everyone's looking at me like, holy moly, what's wrong with her? You know? And now I can just wait and see if someone else volunteers. And if someone says, Karen, can you do it? I can say yes, or I can say, no, I can't. And I don't have to give anyone an explanation, and that might seem selfish to a lot of people, but I think those people don't understand about the circles, the circles. Got to take care of yourself first. So I love the reading. Life becomes simpler. And then when things get simpler, what happens is they go better, right? It's It's like that song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, right? You're rowing down the stream. Simpler means you're just kind of letting go. You're staying in the moment. Let's see what happens next, right? And I'm really big into that. I'm big that the universe has a plan for me. Now, you may call it God, you may call it Buddha, whatever you want to call it, but to me, it's universal source, which is God to me. That's what I believe in. But it's this universal, just like the story I told about Richard Branson's. Why would I have gotten invited there if I wasn't working at Frenchman's Reef on the beach that day, serving drinks in the sand? I would have never met those people that liked me so much and said, "Where should we go for dinner?" And I said, "Come to the place I work for dinner, right? I'll wait on you." And they did. And we laughed and talked so much. And they liked me. And they said, "We're flying tomorrow to Necker Island. We want you to join us. We've already talked to our host." And he said, "Come along." I mean, what? You cannot orchestrate that. And I believe that life is supposed to be like that. It unfolds at your feet if you let it. But it cannot unfold at your feet if you're busy orchestrating exactly how things are supposed to go and how it's supposed to go for everyone else and how everyone else is supposed to respond and how everyone else is supposed to react, what they're supposed to say and how they're supposed to feel. And if they really love me, they feel this way. And I mean, it goes on and on and on. So I want to live more like that. It seemed when I was young, I lived like that much more. I have some amazing stories that just happened because I was in the moment, living my life, leaving people alone, right? And I had some great stories. And then all of a sudden you get older and I don't know. I don't know what happened. I really don't. But all of a sudden I'm in charge, right? I'm in charge. And no one asked me and nobody wants me in charge. And it took a while to untangle that web. And now it's sheer freedom. It is sheer freedom. I am very clear about where I stop and someone else starts. And I've got another story. I wasn't going to tell this one, but this is very interesting. That's just recently happened to me. So, what's recently happened to me is I'm in this very healthy space with boundaries and codependency and recovery. And I am by trait an alcoholic addict. That's my go-to, right? And so usually a person like that has a codependent around them, the very person I became when I quit drinking and using. Well, I've recently been in a situation with a wonderful person, but they happen to be very codependent. And all of a sudden I realized the other day that the dynamic was pushing me back into my old role. And I thought, "Oh no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm not going to start letting somebody else care for me emotionally or mentally or just I don't know. I don't even know. I can't give you an example, but there's an energy that started happening. And it was a shift in energy and I thought, "No. No, no, no. This is a bad um, teeter totter, right? This person's on the other side, and I hopped on with them, and now we're going up and down, up and down. And I got to get off the teeter totter. I did get off. As soon as I figured out what was happening, I thought, no, just because they're not doing well in this area, which doesn't mean, and they don't, it's not affecting their life or anything, but it's just known to everybody that this person is very codependent. And I am very codependent, but I'm in recovery. So here I am, like kind of normal, if you can imagine, just on ground floor. And this other person is coming in with this other energy. It's forcing me into another floor unless I recognize it and I say, nope, I'm staying on this floor. And I've had to back them up energetically and kind of put a invisible, nonverbal, energetic stop, right? Stop. It's this isn't okay, right? I don't know if you know what I mean, but you might. It might happen to you soon, and that's why you heard this. But energetically, you can feel it. And I think we attract those people, and those people are attracted to us. So, that's why I always tell people it's so important to get your codependency looked after or your addiction, because you're just going to seek the same people out. Some people think, well, if I just get divorced, you know, um, it's fine. I can go on and live my life. No, you're going to find the same person over again. They attract to you. It's like law of attraction. There they are. And they never start out that way. They never start out that way. When I am in my best and finest of codependency, I could meet someone and they could be a professional CEO running a multi-million dollar company. And within about 2 months, I've made him into a little boy, completely dependent on me. And they've slid back into their role. I slide into mine, and then it's all over again. It's like, shit, how did this happen again? Well, it's because I haven't changed. Now I've changed. So this new relationship with this person I have, I was able to go, oh, it's not a romantic relationship. It's actually another woman who's a good friend of mine. But it just started to tip in the direction that I don't want to go. I don't want to go there. So I love the reading. I'm glad you were here. If you haven't picked up my new book, I have a new book out I'm very proud of. It is called Connecting to Source. It is a fantastic way to raise your vibration, match to the frequency of the life that you want, the abundance, the relationships that you want by raising your vibrations through the 12-step program. I've taken the 12 steps and I have interpreted them into universal laws, the laws of attraction. And it's very interesting. It's a great program for anybody who doesn't like the word God or have a religious connotation, kind of thrown at them. So I love it. It's fantastic. The link is going to be in my bio here. Um, it talks a lot about addiction, but that can be addiction to people. It's meant for everybody. So check it out and let me know what you think. I want to hear some reviews. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.